Ha! Today's story is entitled Run, Billy, Run! Billy was not a very big fourth grader. In fact, he was somewhat skinny. He didn't have a lot of really close friends, just some of the kids on his street. He wasn't one of the smartest students, although he usually got B's in most of his classes. Athletic? No, he wasn't all that athletic either. But Billy did have a dream. One he pretty much kept to himself. Why tell anyone else? He would just be laughed at. Billy had spent a lot of time watching the Summer Olympics on TV. The gymnastics were outstanding. The diving competition was really fun to watch. The underwater pictures of the swimmers were kind of neat. The basketball was okay. What Billy really liked were the track and field events, especially the running ones. He was amazed at all the preparations that the short-distance sprinters went through before the race, a race that might last only 10 seconds. He could not imagine how the marathon runners could maintain their pace for 26 miles, lasting over 2 hours. That was really something. But it was the middle-distance races that Billy watched with rapt attention. As he listened to the announcers, he began to understand the patience and the perseverance it took to run those races. Eventually, of course, the games were over. Medals had been handed out, national anthems sung, and now the athletes were all returning to their homes. Billy put on a pair of shorts, one of his favorite Olympic t-shirts, and his tennis shoes. "Where are you going, Billy?" asked his mom as he was headed toward the front door. "I'm going out to run, Mom. I am only going around the block. I won't be far." "You're going to do what?" she asked in disbelief. Billy had never done any running in his life, but she knew he'd watched the Olympics a lot during the summer. "Oh well, there are so many worse things he could be doing," she thought to herself. The screen door slammed shut as Billy took off running as he was halfway out the door. Billy could hear the crowd roaring. They were all clapping their hands. They were chanting his name. He was in the Olympics. And then he tripped on the raised crack in the sidewalk and fell to the ground. So much for that dream. His hands were bruised from stopping his fall, and his right knee was scraped and was bleeding. It hurt as he got up. Billy turned around and started walking back home. So much for his thoughts about running. He couldn't even make it around the block. After he got home, his mom washed up his scrapes and put a wet cloth on his bruised hands. That evening, Billy took one of his Olympic videos off the shelf and put into the TV and started watching it. It was just as exciting as when he had watched the race when it was run live. He knew who would win, of course, but he was watching the runners and their styles and how they had to plan their race. Billy knew they had all worked hard to make it to the Olympics. The announcers had used the word perseverance more than once as they talked about the preparations that each runner had made. As he watched the races, Billy saw that the runner who started out fast usually didn't win. It was the one who was patient and waited until the right time to run as fast as he could. Billy spent more time outside running during the rest of the summer, but he still was not very good. He wasn't just that good of a runner yet. Billy was eager to go out for track when school started, but the coach told him he wasn't fast enough. "Maybe next year, kid," the coach said. During that school year, Billy got bigger. His running became more natural, and he didn't trip on anything. It wasn't easy waiting a whole year before he could join the track team, but when the next school year started, he was ready. When the coach saw how Billy had persevered during the year and how he could run and pace himself, he was impressed. "You're in the race tomorrow, kid," the coach said. "Runners, on your mark, get set." And then the gun signaled the start of the race. The other runners jumped out. An early lead, but Billy wasn't worried. He knew how he had to run, and he knew that the other boys would be tired because they'd started too fast. At the beginning of the last lap, the early leaders were tired and they were slowing down. Because he was running the way he had planned, Billy was able to now pass them, and he went on to win the race. The end.